Hi folks, Chuck McKay here. I'm here with the Wizard of IT, Mr. Matt Shea, and we're here at the high school today. Now there's a lot of things going on at the high school. I know a lot of people have heard about that. We know that Dr. Anderson is out and she'll be back very soon. We also know that one of our assistant principals went on sabbatical, so there's some big things going on. The only good thing about missing those people was I had the chance this week to spend all week with the high school folks. And I'm here with two staff members to talk about one of the great programs that we have here at the high school. Now, as you know, we now have 8 CTE programs, career and technical education programs. We're looking for number 9, and Joe Piccirillo and I are going down to the state to try to get computer science approved next week. But one of our big programs, and the program that was basically the center for the grant that we won 3 years ago, the $500,000 grant, is hospitality. And hospitality management is a major factor in New Jersey as well as the New York and Philadelphia area with hotels and restaurants. And therefore our hospitality program is booming. So I'm here today with Mr. DJ LoPresti, and I'm here with Jen Fowler as well. And the two of our teachers are CTE certified in hospitality. So we're going to talk a little bit about hospitality, and then I'm going to show you how the grant money is going to be spent next year in the room we're sitting in. Okay, so DJ, tell us a little bit about your classroom and how that ties into the program.
Well, I'm teaching a couple of different classes that are focusing more on the front of the house. Intro to Business Management is teaching kids how to work with some of their other employees and also showing them a little bit more about how to manage and have a couple different management scenarios. I'm also teaching Intro to Accounting, which is teaching kids some of the financial aspects of the restaurant. So they're kind of getting a little feel of all those different aspects of the front of the house. So
one of the things that goes with the CTE is that they can take 2 of these different programs, and they need 3 for the CTE cert. So if they start in sophomore year or they start in freshman year, they have 1 class per. Do you have students now interested in accounting that may take the Intro to Business class, or is
absolutely we do. Yeah, we have kids that sometimes they're taking a couple of them all, the same marking period even.
Right.
That are very interested in both pieces. So and then eventually they head on over to the back of the house with Jen.
Right. Right.
With some cooking experience as well.
Which can be a lot more fun.
Of
right.
course.
So and there's always a competition between these two because they work together with the FBLA program. And FBLA is the club that you need for each one of the CTE programs with hospitality. Other clubs are like Skills USA and DECA. We've talked about all those, but yours is FBLA. But in the foods class, what are the students learning and how does this tie in with our CTE?
Well, we start off with the Introduction to Culinary Arts, where they're going to kind of get a background of just cooking in general, so learning some skills about safety, sanitation, learning how to boil water, learning how to make sauces, and then we move on to more complicated. We just finished the cakes and frosting unit, which the students love. Of course, my class is more fun because we get to eat everything that we make as well.
See what happens?
So,
yeah.
You got me there.
Yes.
So anyway, because the programs are exploding, we need more space. So the grant, $100,000 comes due next year. Now last year we spent a lot of that money on the Allied Health Program, the CTE. But now we're concentrating on the hospitality program. So the room that we're sitting in right now is going to be reconfigured as a 21st century cooking kitchen in which more students can take the foods and also a more professional atmosphere so they get the sense of what it's like.
Yes,
so tell us a little bit about what your idea is for this.
So my vision for this room is to have a whole commercial line of equipment. It's a big difference cooking on a stove at home versus cooking on a stove in a restaurant. So to have that equipment so the students can get the skills for that and more of a actual restaurant type of atmosphere for the kitchen and having a prep area and then having the cooking line.
Yep.
But also having a restaurant area where they can learn how to set a table properly, how to serve a table properly. They talk about it in Mr. LoPresti's class, but to actually have the hands-on experience.
Right. And we're going to try to make all that happen. And I know, Vernon, you're saying how on earth, but we do have that grant. So that's going to be as part of the program to make sure that our hospitality program is 21st century and the best in the county.
Hi, I'm here with Haley Minter, who is our Vice President of FBLA, Dan Condell, who is our President of FBLA, Ryan Coulter, who is our leadership team member, and of course DJ LoPresti. So Ryan, what are some experiences that you've already had in FBLA?
FBLA has really taught me how to communicate and really work with people through different activities we did. So last spring we went down to Disney to participate in the Cook Around the World competition, which was a bunch of schools from all over the country. That it was basically a chopped style competition, so you had to work together with your team and really prepare food to celebrity chefs and people in the industry. And then, like probably a month ago, we went to the New Jersey FBLA competition, which was the state competition for the normal FBLA activities. So I participated in the social media campaign competition. Haley participated in impromptu speaking, and then Dan did
emerging business
problems, issues.
Do you think that you found a lot of networking opportunities as well?
Definitely. You know, there were people there that specialized in my subjects of social media that I got to speak with to really try to help me grow my social media personal campaigns and just stuff I would do in the future for just tips and tricks and that kind of stuff. So it was really helpful in that regard.
Great. So we're also in the hospitality and tourism area, being FBLA, and Dan here has some dreams in the future of actually owning his own store. So Dan, can you tell us a little bit about your dreams in the future of what you'd like to do in hospitality?
So with CTE, you learn a lot of life lessons, like honesty and responsibility when it comes to numbers and everything. So my dream is to operate my own golf course or somewhere in the hospitality industry. So with that, CTE has offered me a lot of information and background in that so that I can succeed in the future.
That's great. And next year, obviously, we're going to have a brand new room here. At least that's the vision for it. Haley, what are you seeing out of this room? How do you think it would be helpful and useful?
This room definitely needs some improvements, but that's why we're doing it. Last year when we went to Florida, we got to cook in state-of-the-art kitchens, state-of-the-art technology equipment. So as we go to Florida next year, this room will really help with preparing us so we could practice our dishes here and we can learn how to cook for those that want to go into the culinary industry, but also use the room to serve others, like in a restaurant setting, so we can learn about more of the hospitality and management side.
So to kind of wrap everything up, I think Haley had a couple things she wanted to say to reach out to other students in regards to FBLA. So Haley, what do you have to say?
Definitely if you're in the high school already or you have a son or daughter that's coming up to the high school and they're interested in traveling, hospitality management, anything career-based, I definitely encourage you to have them participate in FBLA. It's a very great club. We have very great members. We do awesome things. We travel, we have fun, we learn. So if they're coming up to the high school or here already, they should definitely reach out to one of us and join and come to one of our meetings. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. And come on over and check us out in O12 sometime, especially next year with the brand new room.
Great. So it's been a while since we had our last podcast, and a lot of great things have happened. But today we're going to talk about hospitality management, the CTE program, and how Mr. Mele was in to visit. We're going to talk about bagpipes being played in Lounsbury Hollow, the band in New York City. Wow, what an experience that was. And then the CFM kids learning from the best. So let's get started with talking about some of these things. All right. The first thing is the marching band on St. Patrick's Day in New York City. I could not personally be prouder. I know that everyone here at the high school feels the same way. The wonderful students, how sharp they look, and the great music that they played on St. Patrick's Day. And here's a couple more great shots coming down Fifth Avenue and, of course, Broadway. What a wonderful experience for everyone involved and their parents and the band leaders, and to all the folks that are responsible for this band. We're very, very proud of the entire program. Coming up, April 19th at Glen Meadow is TREPs. Now, Glen Meadow pushed the date, and it's now at Glen Meadow. So I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of this. Usually it's at Lounsbury Hollow, and usually it's at Christmas time. Mrs. Piszczek has moved it to April 19th. It will be from 6:30 to 8:30 in the Glen Meadow gym. So there's a shot from last year, and you can see how popular it is. The students sell their wares, and they talk about how they developed them. It's a great program. Don't miss it. Here is the Construction Facilities and Maintenance Program. Mr. Paul Mele, who runs a construction company in town, everyone knows Paul, was a wonderful teacher and guide for our students last week, a week and a half ago. And he talked about all the things that go on with construction. The boys and girls in the class were all ears. He had great ideas. He talked about internships with them and the idea of getting involved in voluntary activities with building as well. Paul is a proven professional and had a lot to show the students. We're very, very lucky to have had him here. Here's another great thing. This past week, Mike Stepkovich, our great football player, was honored as the Scholar Athlete Award, and it was given by the Greater Morris County chapter of the National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame. And of course, with him are Coach Coleman, Coach Tepper, Mr. Foley, and Dr. Anderson, who are all very proud of him. And this is a terrific picture of just our great students and the support they receive from the adults behind them. Movie night. This was a family night, and we're doing more and more of these activities, whether it's literacy night, whether it's math night, whether it's game night. This just happened to be a family night where it was movie night, where Lounsbury rocks the gym. So we're delighted. Look at all the happy faces as they're watching the film, eating popcorn, and bonding with their parents. Wonderful. All right, DECA. Now, I'm coming to you on April 5th, and I want you to know that great things are happening. The DECA team has just been approved for the Nationals. There's going to be 20 students going out to the Nationals, and here's how they qualified for the Nationals. Frank Incarnato and Max Rodriguez with the Community Service Project, which of course has to do with all the fundraising they do around here, and then taking care of things like the Harvest House and other great social activities. Creative Marketing Plan with Elizabeth Keith, Financial Operations Research with Ryan Ellinger and Jameson Parker. All of these people are winners and moving on. Independent Business Plan with Ryan Hainsel, Dan McKeon, and of course Principles of Finance, Dan McKeon again. So these kids are moving on to Atlanta. And then Brianna Garcia, Brielle Ellinger, and Dana Van Leuven also qualified for the ICDC in the stock market game. Now, this was the only group from New Jersey that qualified. They had to finish in the top 25 in the portfolio growth. And as someone who is heading towards retirement sometime in the future, I need to talk to these people about how to play the stock market, because I don't have a clue. But congratulations to Brianna, Brielle, and Dana. We're very proud of you, and it's on to Atlanta for DECA. Dan Gutman, who is a famous children's author, was in Rolling Hills talking about his latest book. Dan was a very entertaining speaker. I got to see him. Kudos to the school staff and Dr. Stumper for bringing him in. Dan Gutman's a big name in children's literature, and we appreciated him visiting and telling riveting stories to the children. The robotics team. My goodness gracious, this is Mr. Kitis, the key person who runs, I'm just looking at the picture and loving it. He's our key person who runs the robotics, along with Mr. McCotter and Mr. Logaitis and Mrs. Foco. Now, this is a picture of them as they qualified. So you can see this point of pride on Mr. Kitis' face. The answer to that is the fact that they are now at Lehigh University. They left yesterday afternoon. They're competing as I speak. They'll be competing tomorrow as well in the National Eastern Competition. If they qualify there, because they were 28th out of 160 teams at Morris, if they qualify here in Lehigh, they go to the World Competition, which this year is being held in Detroit. So we're here crossing our fingers, hoping for the best for our robotics team as they're all camped out at Lehigh and making Vernon proud. Mr. Tim Friedhoff. Tim is a friend of mine from childhood, and he's married to one of our wonderful special ed teachers in Lounsbury Hollow, Sandy Friedhoff. And Tim came to Lounsbury Hollow for Mr. Mudrick's group to play the bagpipes on St. Patrick's Day. The children were mesmerized by him and the wonderful songs that he was playing. It was a great day at Lounsbury. So, Vernon, you saw on our PowerPoint the great band experience at St. Patrick's Day Cathedral and the parade. You saw our students enjoying bagpipes on St. Patrick's Day. You saw great authors coming to Vernon. You saw all the great things that our DECA group is doing. And, of course, our robotics team, which is competing right now. So all these great things are happening at Vernon High School and in the Vernon School District. I'm sitting here with Jen, I'm sitting here with DJ, I'm looking at the design for next year. These are going to be great spaces for our students. So we look forward to being with the hospitality people and having a great year next year.